You want to get into this AP top 25 poll?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the better ones that we've gotten all year, honestly. Because Ohio State at 1,
Yeah.
Miami at 2, Oregon at 3. I would maybe swap Miami and Ohio State, but that's not bad. And then Ole Miss, A&M, and Oklahoma. Like, that's another one where it's just like maybe I would swap a little bit there, but the top 6 is really good, I think. Then here's where we start to get a little haywire, where Indiana at 7, it does make sense, but there's a team that should be ahead of them that's not even the team behind them, where Texas Tech is kind of undervalued here. They should probably be at 7, right in front of Indiana and Alabama. But then you're looking at that, and then you see Georgia. Those top 10 are pretty good. It's just more about like the slight order adjustments where it's like maybe Miami goes up there, maybe Texas Tech goes up there. They have all the right
Right.
teams, and it's pretty close to being accurate where you have then Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Missouri, Michigan. The top 15 is probably the correct top 15 teams. Maybe you just swap them out a little bit or move some teams around. But honestly, Jack, the fact that they're 15 top teams are actually kind of the 15 top teams is pretty crazy, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, there's some minor ones that I would change. Like another thing that I hate that that IP poll does is they kind of make
Right,
predictions when this is pretty much set in stone resume based, like with Oklahoma at number 6, where I don't even know why they dropped
right.
him, just because of the Mateer injury, which is not what you're supposed to do in a top 25 like this. This is not power rankings. This is not how you think they're going to be. This is how they actually are and what they've done. So I hope we don't see that more, which we probably will. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is correct. I mean, I think they have Missouri way
Right.
too low here. I mean, I don't think they just watch them play. I think that's really it. Because they really are just one of the lesser known SEC teams, but they're undefeated. They have they have good wins, Kansas and
Right.
South Carolina. So I would have them at number 10 above these one-loss SEC teams like Tennessee, LSU, and
Right.
Georgia. So I don't know why they're getting disrespected there. And I know we touched on this last week, but Georgia Tech I still think is a little high here. Um, I I don't know why they kind of raised that high. I mean, they should have lost that Wake Forest game, and they should be probably in the 16 to 20 range. If I'm being honest. Um, but this it does get tough later in the rankings because you're like messing with a lot of teams that have lost before, um, like Notre Dame and Vanderbilt and Illinois. So I'm not mad at that. I get it. But
Right. And I mean, obviously you can make your gripes with it, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of impressed that, in my opinion, the top 15 is kind of the 15 best teams, just some certain movement issues. And maybe say Georgia Tech's not quite at that level, but at least it's not egregious like it has been. Then it starts to get rough. This is where they have a lot of problems right now. They have Notre Dame at 16 and Illinois at 17. I don't think they're sniffing like 16 and 17. Illinois lost by 53. Notre Dame has 2 losses. How do you conceive that? I don't get it. I feel like having them at 16 and 17 is appalling. The fact that you have Illinois ranked, they just lost by 53 points. So I feel like you can't pretend like that didn't happen, AP, just because you thought they were going to be good in the preseason. It doesn't mean you can just forget on-field performance. So 17 is appalling, and the fact they're ahead of like teams like undefeated BYU, one loss Virginia with great wins, Vanderbilt with great wins, Arizona State great wins. It doesn't make sense because their loss is so bad, and their only great win was at home against a USC team that is now unranked. But you said you're saying that they're unranked, so very interesting. I don't get it. Notre Dame and Illinois are too high, and then BYU, even though I think they're kind of solid, I don't know if you put them that high. Then it starts to make a little bit more sense with Virginia. But why is Vanderbilt at 20? What are we doing? They're a top 15 team. They lost to Arizona, or they lost to Alabama, who now you're saying is the number 8 team in the nation. Like, that's not embarrassing. I don't get it. Alabama only has one loss to now you say the number 25 team in the nation. So it's like, how do you rationalize that? I don't get it. Vanderbilt's still really good, and they're definitely not number 20, Jack.
yeah, absolutely. And it was like that loss they had against Florida State wasn't even close. I mean, the score looks like it wasn't close with against Alabama with
Right,
Vanderbilt, but it was close for the majority of the game, and they had a
right,
shot to win that game. So absolutely, I would put them in the top 15 range, the
right,
11 to 15 range probably. But yeah, I would probably put I mean Virginia and Arizona State and those American teams lower at the bottom like Memphis and South Florida. I would have above Notre Dame, Illinois, and BYU. So yeah.
right. And then Arizona State, I feel like that kind of makes sense. They did lose to Mississippi State, which looks worse now. I still think Mississippi State's not that bad, but that Texas A&M is just really good. Can we just say that Texas A&M is just really good? Then Iowa State, they probably should just be unranked, to be honest. And then Memphis and South Florida, even though you could make gripes that they shouldn't be this low, that they should be in the top 20, whatever you want to say, I am just so glad that the AP finally has them ranked and is finally giving them respect. So, as much as we want to criticize this top 25, because there is a lot of flaws, and you'll see when I do my personal top 25 that I am moving a lot of things around like usual, but this isn't as egregious. I didn't have to tweak this as much as I have been because this is not as bad as it's been. Like, at least Memphis and South Florida are in there. At least a lot of the top 15 that they have is the top 15 best teams with uh except Vanderbilt should be up there, but that's about it. Like, it's not terrible. And outside of Notre Dame, Illinois, and BYU being too high, it's not that bad. Like, they could have done so much worse, and they have done so much worse throughout the year. So I think this is definitely an oddly great week for the AP poll. It's hard to say that because it's still bad. Like, there's still a lot of issues with it, but compared to what they've been doing, it is an improvement, Jack.
Absolutely. I think this may be like the best AP poll we've gotten this year.
Right,
And I think kind of as a collective college football community, we've kind of bullied the AP poll into finally putting out a good poll.
right,
And I mean, we've touched on that clip of one of the voters saying they raised Florida after that USF game, and
right,
just those voters just obviously not watching the games. Um, and I think this is a great poll that they've given us. And I think it's very surprising. Like, I would not have predicted this, that this is what they have done
right,
by putting Memphis and South Florida in there and kicking Penn State and Texas out. I would have thought they would have kept them in instead of those American teams just to put them in there, just to keep them low at the bottom because
right.
preseason
Well, that's what they did with Notre
rankings.
Dame. Right,
Right, and Illinois, they kept them in after those
right,
losses. Just those preseason rankings matter so much to them. So I'm super glad that they just kicked them out because they don't deserve to be in here. So that just makes me glad, and I hope it just keeps improving like it obviously has this week. So I'm happy with it.
right. And obviously, there are certain improvements that they could be made. And as we see more games, we'll start to kind of get a better idea. But this could certainly be improved upon, but at least it's a lot better than what they've been doing previously. And I mean, the AP has really had a bad year. And as you said, has been bullied, and rightfully so, because it's been horrendous. After Notre Dame had their second loss, someone had them in the top 10. Like, it's egregious. And it's nice to see that the AP is watching a little more games. They could do a lot better, but it's nice to see that it's not as putrid and not as ignorant to what's going on in college football. So I appreciate that they're making adjustments and finally make a fairly decent poll.
Yeah,
Well, this is, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you could say that teams like Cincinnati, Washington, or Nebraska could be in there. But those are
right,
minor nitpicks and isn't overall, I think, a great week. So yeah,
right. It's just compared to what we've been getting, this feels
right.
really solid.